Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, the Azimio la Umoja side wrote a letter to the Kenya Kwanza side to invite them for the meeting, which is bringing together the 5 members from Azimio and 5 from Kenya Kwanza side to start discussing the issues that made Kenyans to go to the street, which then we saw Raila Odinga leading the Azimio side, because Azimio and the Kenyans agreed that the cost of living is high, among other things that Azimio believe in to do with the IBC, server, and the rule of law. And on behalf of Kenya Kwanza side, Kimani Ichungw'wah, who is now leading that team, has finally responded. And I can tell you, from the time I saw William Ruto settling on Kimani Ichungw'wah to lead the Kenya Kwanza side in their negotiation with Azimio, I knew Ruto was not serious, because you cannot choose a man who is advocating for anarchy, who organized goons to go and invade a private property belonging to the Kenyatta family, and he said it on camera. Then you bring him to lead a team that want to negotiate on matters touching on Kenya, political parties, our elections. That person can never bring any tangible reason on the table, because then you are bringing a noise maker who has no any interest of bringing peace in this country to lead. Maybe the only thing that might work is when Ruto can meet Raila. I'm telling you, maybe that's what Ruto was looking for. Bring someone who cannot agree with the other team, so that now you get a chance to meet Raila Odinga direct. And if not, just to frustrate and stop this conversation. Because then, if you look on the response from Kimani Ichungw'wah seemingly is discussing the matter they need to sit down in the meeting to discuss. In this letter, how do you discuss the matter in the letter? That you need to go and sit down and discuss. And he is dismissing what Azimio was raising. For now, it was just an invitation letter, because we saw Azimio side writing their list of engagement, and they said Kenya Kwanza have also a right to bring whatever they think is of great matter to discuss. So they were free to bring what they want to bring, not to talk about what Azimio should not talk about, because then it's a subject of discussion when that meeting will be tabled. So what I'm seeing here from the response, it tells a lot. And they're talking about the issue of having a meeting at a cheaper place, cost cutting, with all those things. So I want us to go through that later, and I want to point out some of the issues that I see as red alerts and how they're trying to pretend in terms of cost of living and other things. But before we go deep into that, just a quick request for those who are watching and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to our channel. Brothers and sisters, thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much. And back to this discussion. This is a letter from the Kenya Kwanza side, 4th August 2023, to His Excellency Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, Delegation Leader, Azimio la Umoja National Dialogue Team. Your Excellency, receive my highest regards. I acknowledge receipt of your letter dated 3rd August 2023, content of which we duly note. However, we seek the indulgence of your team on the invitation to a meeting on Monday, 7th August 2023, while appreciating the urgency to embark on the talks. It is worth noting that having just constituted our team, we had a scheduled debrief on Monday with our team in order to prepare for the talks and a further engagement with the bipartisan team and their assisting councils on Tuesday, 8th August 2023. We therefore seek your kind indulgence and propose that we schedule a joint first meeting on Thursday, 10th August 2023 at 10 a.m. That means he's now pushing for another date. Yani inamaanisha if Azimio proposed something for them, they cannot go with what Azimio has proposed. It is all about kutumia kifua. So you come with yours. So they're now changing to August 10. The question will be, why so? In my view, there could be just two things. The obvious one is that they want to delay this talk like what they were doing with the bipartisan talk that they had earlier. Remember, Kenya Kwanza was playing a delay tactic, thinking that cost of living will just come down and everything will be settled, people will be tired to be on the street. It never worked. People went back to the street and it was one of the worst, which forced Ruto to start killing Kenyans instead of providing what they are asking for. It's a delay tactic they are still playing. Azimio gave 1 month to discuss this issue and finish. Number two, we know Ruto is going to Mount Kenya. Kimani Ichungw'wah want to be there to discuss politics. It's a campaign rally of 3 days. Is it? No. It's a 5 days campaign event in Mount Kenya region. Because of this, Kimani Ichungw'wah cannot afford to be away when they have that campaign event. So you want to be actively seen on the ground. It's on bid. Considering that Kenya Kwanza administration is on record committing to the Kenya people to check on excessive borrowing that has previously led to reckless accumulation of public debts, cognizant of the prevailing economic conditions and the need for austerity measures both at individual and collective level, with which the view of mitigating the high cost of living, we respectfully request your team to allow the two teams to schedule our meeting at a public venue such as County Hall, which I would be happy to engage the Parliamentary Service Commissioner to make available, or in alternative at the School of Government, Kabete. Now they pretended to be at least careful with the issue of high cost of living. You know, you cost cut on expenditure. So instead of going for a hotel like Azimio had requested, they now pretend to be, oh, we better look for a cheap place, a public place which is cheap, rather than going to a private facility. Before, Kimani Ichungw'wah talk like this. Is he aware that Ruto spend a 1-year budget, status budget, in 6 months' time, and they ask for supplementary budget? What can you tell Kenyans about that? Is Ichungw'wah aware that Rigathi Gachagua spend a 1-year budget in 6 months' time and requested for a supplementary budget? It's a subject of discussion in the National Assembly. So if presidency can spend like that, is he aware that when Ruto was having his first inaugural meeting, it was happening somewhere in Mount Kenya, in a hotel connected to Kariuki, where they spent close to 200 million shillings in 3 days' time. Hiyo ilikuwa private property where they were holding the meeting, or it was public. So it's all about just playing politics here. We continue. Your Excellency, sir, it is our considered view that there are a venue that will not occasion any additional expenditure to the public and which would otherwise be available for such public meeting at little or no cost to us, to the Kenyan taxpayers, or oppose to the luxurious 5-star Serena Hotel. Sasa anasema Azimio wanataka kwenda kwa vitu za even quoting a 5-star. When Ruto is going outside for his meeting, look on the kind of delegation Ruto is carrying. They're just playing. Let us go to the next page. Kuna haja ya kumalizia hiyo. We firmly believe that through the dialogue, as courageous patriotic, we shall restore to faith of our nation's people in democratic ideas and put behind our country's history of the cyclic culture of violence and impunity entrenched, and a culture of respect to the rule of law, and constitutionalism. For that matter, we shall not be available to engage on any issue that are of personal or private nature whatsoever. So look at that. What is he saying? You talk about violence. We know police are the one who caused violence when hungry Kenyans were protesting. If police would not come to cause violence by lobbing tear gas, canisters, and live bullets to the Kenyans, where would violence come from? So Kimani Ichungw'wah should be reminded that it is Kenya Kwanza who are asking police to act in a goonism manner to cause violence. He should be reminded of this. Further, Kenya being a constitutional democratic, we strongly believe this is where the bombshell is now. Listen careful. In the rule of law, and the position is that this dialogue will be conducted within the parameters of the constitution and the existing laws. We all know that we all know and appreciate the perils of the country has suffered as a result of opening outside the parameters of the law, operating, sorry for that, and the constitution. Therefore, respectfully, we will not participate, you see, in any matter on any issue that undermine any arm of the government or undermine any decision that have been made, therefore, by any arm of the government or undermine our laws under the constitution. Azimio said they must open the server. Wanasema independence of IBC. That's wanataka mambo mengine ya kusema the Supreme Court made a ruling on presidential election, so it's not a matter of discussion. Wafungue server, hiyo ndio mambo wamesema. IBC constituting must be discussed. So it's already discussed, and yet the matter they need to go and table in that meeting. What is he telling Azimio la Umoja? And what is he telling Kenyans? Then what are they going to discuss if they're discussing this matter in the letter? That means there's no goodwill from Kenya Kwanza. We look forward for engagement with you. But now looking at all this, it shows you that once you are discussing matters that you need to go and discuss at the meeting, then there's no goodwill, and you're just telling people you're not committed to this issue, and you're just trying to dismiss what the other side is trying to bring on table and make your issue that you are bringing on that table to look like it's the only issue you should be discussing. So the issue of bulldozing the other side and the drama comes in. This thing is going to fail.